Let's do this. Why do comment sections control my opinion? By David at Chu. Let's go.
If you ask my grandmother what form of interaction on social media platforms has the most influence on public opinion, she would simply nod and smile at you confused because she's 70 years old and didn't understand a word you just said. But if you ask the same question to a person whose birth year starts with a 2, they would have to agree that the most influence doesn't come from likes or shares or even from the video itself. It comes from what's right underneath it. It comes from the comment section. Sure, the video itself is important, and most people will ignore videos that don't have likes that number into at least the thousands, but there is no denying that no matter what social media platform you use, the comment section makes it just a little bit better. Because yeah, if you remove the likes count or the view count, it would make it a little bit worse, but if you took away the comment section, you just removed half of my reason for watching this in the first place.
There's truly nothing funnier in this world than TikTok comments. If my TikTok comments do—
Nah, I've been posting a lot more on TikTok. I've been posting a lot more on TikTok recently, kind of doing more like little side ventures to try to like gain some momentum on TikTok. But the TikTok comments are crazy, and yeah, I feel like they're saying the comments have so much more power than the likes and the views and things like that, because you'll if it's a video, especially on a subject that you want to watch, you're directly looking for, you're gonna watch it regardless, or you might even check it out regardless of how many views or whatever it has. Sure, you might be more enticed to watch something with more views, but seeing like comments can not only like completely dictate how you engage with the video, but it can just turn you away from it like altogether.
Do not work, I will not go on the app.
My thoughts exactly. The comment section breeds community, it breeds discussion, it allows social media to be social. You can't comment on things in traditional media the same way you can on social media. You're a part of it. It adds to the comedy, it adds to the insight. It's great, but there's just one problem with it. I can no longer think for myself. This video is gonna primarily focus on TikTok comment sections because in my experience, YouTube comments are fine and Instagram Reels comments scare me.
TikTok ruined my sense of opinion. How do y'all feel about that? Yeah, the TikTok comments have changed everything. And yeah, the comment sections do get me laughing more than the vid sometimes, honestly. I feel like, yeah, they can completely just sway how you feel about the video before you even watch the video. Like, you see a bunch of comments like, funny W vid, funny vid, like, you're probably gonna go into it, like, a bit more easygoing and kind of thinking already it's a good video. They completely sway the opinions on it. And I feel like even, too, it's kind of dangerous. Like, I feel like you gotta, especially as a creator, you gotta stay the hell away from the comment section sometimes. Especially if you don't, like, you should be putting out things that you feel are great and are comfortable with. Obviously, getting constructive criticism from like valid sources and things like that is definitely great and can contribute to even better things being made. I've literally had experiences where I've like seen the comments of something before, like a video, before I watched the video, and it's made me either not want to watch the video, or if it says the video's ass, then I'm probably gonna watch the video and like with the ass glasses.
After 30 minutes of scrolling on TikTok, you can easily be confronted with hundreds of opinions and various takes.
One thing I want to say about this guy's videos is I love his cinematography. It's so low budget, but it has so much like character and stuff. Like just him laying in his bed, or the one from earlier where it's just it's like his floor from like sort of an eagle eye perspective, and like the green screen is on the ground. I think stuff like that is super sick.
On various different topics. And because you can't know everything about everything, a lot of these topics and different opinions are going to be about subjects that you aren't exactly an expert in, which is fine. But the thing is, when you don't have a rock solid sense of self and self-confidence or whatever, and you're also not well educated on the topic, it's a lot easier to just be swayed by the opinions of other people. It's like saying, I don't know much about this, but you seem loud and confident, so I'm just going to trust you. And if you do this over and over again, you start to lose trust in your own opinion, and you become more and more reliant on the comment.
I feel like that can even happen without even if you have like you're very firm and confident in your beliefs and things like that, like just seeing that, like just it can even like it might not change how you feel, but it definitely has a sort of impact. And like obviously, especially with maybe like, I don't know if weaker minded people would be the word to use or the term to use, but people who are a bit more easily convincible and aren't as stern would, yeah, it definitely has like effect beyond like, oh, you can just if you just don't like just don't worry about it, just don't listen to the comments. Like just seeing a whole bunch of them, it definitely has an effect. Like after the 10th or 11th L in the comments section, I'm kind of like, hey, you know what, like Damn, maybe there was something here that was kind of.
Comment section to do your thinking and feeling for you. Does this really matter? Probably not. But it is annoying and it does make me feel stupid. Have you ever seen a TikTok where somebody's making a hot take, you hear it, and then you form your own opinion, then you check the comment section, and everyone has the exact opposite opinion, and then you proceed to lie to yourself and pretend that you also felt that way the whole time, and actually it makes more sense. Why are you doing that? Or when you have a feeling or an opinion that you're not really supposed to say out loud, and then somebody has enough courage to do it, and then everyone in the comments agrees with them, and then you feel like a coward because you felt that way the whole time.
It's almost like it's like the same energy as like you're in a classroom and you it's like you're thinking about the right answer but you're too scared to say it, but then somebody else says the right answer and you're like, oh, I was thinking that all along. Like it really like all it takes is somebody else to put something out there for it to like have an effect, you know, whether you're bullshitting or not.
We were just too afraid to say it. Here's an easy one. King Batch. Did you ever watch him back in the day? Don't lie. We all did.
Come on, the King Batch Vines? Come on, King Batch Vines? Come on, if you know, you know.
Here's a more important question. Do you think he's funny? Because if you asked the same question only a year ago...
I actually watched a video about is King Batch actually funny, or is he did he like invent race? People were like, yo, he like started racism. That's what a lot of people like to say about King Batch, because his whole shtick on Vine was like he would make all those like black people watermelon jokes, or you know what I mean? Like that was kind of his like thing. He would just play the stereotype very well. And like there's more to it than that. It's not like all he did, but that was like a lot of what he was known for. So yeah, the hit right here, maturing, is realizing he was never funny. I actually have a video that I made a while back, reacting to a video about King Batch. That was actually one of my first like videos on the YouTube channel that did really well. So low-key, shout out to King Batch, for real. Shout out to King Batch.
Most people would have said no. In fact, they'll go one step further. They'll say that he was never funny, that nobody ever liked him, that if we look back in hindsight, it wasn't actually that good. They all hated this man. Okay, hate's a strong word, but they weren't a fan of his comedy, that's for sure. Which is all well and fine and dandy, but I'm now getting on my For You page King Batch sympathizers who are like, actually, well, if you look back, he was kind of funny, and I did kind of like him, and he's actually not that bad. Now, if I'm being honest with myself, of course I watched him back in the day, and of course I thought he was funny.
Oh no, that's a classic. Always save the J's. Nah, come on. Nah, I mean, he's playing the stereotype, but come on. Like, that's kind of funny, yo. That's kind of funny, though. That's kind of funny.
I watched his Vines so much, there were points where I could quote them in conversation. I loved them, but that was...
But it's like another race one. It's like, that's his whole thing. You just played the race. He just plays the race thing. Like, right here, it's like...
There were points where I could quote...
Like, getting out of situations using the race card. And then the last one was, yo, save the Jordans. Like, come on, dog.
Quote them in a conversation. I loved them, but that was years ago. And so when I started getting videos of people saying, like, no, he was never actually that funny, he was actually pretty corny, I was like, yeah, he was kind of corny. But as soon as somebody publicly said, actually, no, I think he was kind of funny, I was like, yeah, he was kind of funny. What sucks is that I think to some degree both of those are true. Vine comedy is kind of corny, but also it was funny. But I convinced myself that I only believed one of those things at a time. It was either funny or it was corny. And it wasn't lying to myself. I was gaslighting myself into believing it was the truth.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest things about like the comment section is it's usually not a lot of like discussion, and there's a lot of just hard, just good or hard bad. Like there's no nuance, at least in the comment sections a lot of the time. So it creates this like what he's saying, you can't have both opinions at the same time, or like you can think that it's not the most clever, but to say that it's like it was just horrible, it was never funny, like now you're just lying to yourself, just trying to have an opinion that's just that you can relate to other people about.
It's the same thing. Case in point, I'm gonna tell you an anecdote that's gonna take at least 45 seconds. It barely has anything to relate to the point I'm making, but it just happened.
All right, 45 seconds, lock in.
To me, and I am still upset. A few days ago, I thought I had lost my wallet, and here is the order of events in which that day took place. It was a Saturday morning to start. That's important. So the first thing I did that day is I went on a bike ride. I put my wallet in my pocket. I went on the ride. I came back home. I got ready because I was gonna run some errands that day. Now, when I was finished getting ready, I remember having like 12 things in my hand all at once, and then I kind of just dumped it in my car when I got there. And I assumed that my wallet was one of the 12 things. It was then that I went about my daily activities, where I went to 3 different places, all of which were filled with people that I both do and don't know. And then at the end of the night, I realized I don't have my wallet on me. So to recap, it could be at any of the...
That's like, nah, that's tough. That is super tough. Like, going the whole day and then realizing you lost your wallet, like, the backtracking is gonna be fucking crazy. It's not like you had it 5 minutes ago. Like, losing your wallet and losing your keys is like, it don't really, like, or your phone. But like, even nowadays, like, the phones have the whole Find My, so it's not even like that bad. But now losing a wallet is, I've had my wallet stolen before. That's a story for another day.
Following places. It could be at any of the 3 locations I went to while I was running my errands. It could be somewhere lost in the car when I dumped all my stuff in there. It could be at home and I just remember taking it with me, but I never actually left the house. Or if we want to get really crazy, it could have fallen out of my pocket while I was doing my bike ride and I just didn't notice. I needed to find it, so I just had to retrace all of my steps. I went back to one of those locations that I had access to. I couldn't as easily get back into the 2 other locations I went to, so I just texted people that were there that day and asked if they had seen anything. I checked every crevice of my car. I redid the bike route I did the other morning and just kept staring at the ground the entire time just in case. Do you know where I found it? I found it in my pants pocket, in the outfit I wore on Friday night. Why is that such a big deal? Why?
Damn, he didn't have his wallet the whole day before too. No, that's tough. That's a slap in the face.
And I think to do that because I could have put all of my money, which is not a lot, on the fact that I saw it in my hand Saturday morning. I was convinced that I had seen it at the start of the day, so I had to have lost it sometime during that day. It did not occur in my mind that I could have possibly left it somewhere the night before the day started. I couldn't have left it somewhere on Friday. It had to have been lost on a Saturday, but clearly that was wrong. What was my point in telling this, again, seemingly unrelated anecdote to the point I was making earlier? Your brain will lie to you to fill in gaps.
Uh-oh, hold on. I've definitely done that with my wallet and my school bag. Yeah, no kidding. Like, feel like you had your, like, lost your wallet. It felt like you just had it, so you go back throughout the whole entire day just to be like, oh, I lost it like 2 days ago. Or you find it in the laundry, and you're like, ah, shit. Hey, guys, you guys want to see my sister? You guys want to say hi to my sister?
You're trying to make something that is kind of true, but isn't really. You're trying to force it to be true in your mind by filling the gaps. If I can gaslight myself into creating a memory that simply didn't happen, I can definitely gaslight myself into thinking I have an opinion that I don't actually have. I'm going to genuinely think I share the opinion of the majority, and I'm not going to realize that I'm just sharing their opinion until their opinion shifts, and then I subtly shift with it. Don't even get me started on looking at how many likes the comment has before I decide if it's a good point. Don't even get me started on looking at how
the craziest combo. Now the comments have likes. Now everybody's opinion ain't theirs. Now everybody's fucked up.
how many likes a comment has before deciding if it was a good point. But her aim is getting better. Honestly, I don't care how insightful or well-written a comment is. If it has 3 likes, I'm not reading it. That comment means nothing. But if it's a top comment and all it is just a direct quote taken from the video with nothing else added to it, or it's the same picture I've seen in 20 other comment sections, now that's a valid point right there. It's a majority rules thing. If tens of thousands of people can agree that this is a good take, and I've only known about this topic for as long as the video has been going, which by the way has only been 30 seconds, then I don't know enough to prove it wrong. I'm just gonna trust it. Or at the very least, I'm not gonna openly go against it by commenting something different in the comment section, because that leads me to only one of 2 options: either a barrage of people saying that my comment is stupid, or even worse, no one noticing it.
Nah, going to war in comment sections is insane. That's devious work. That is devious work.
Why would I comment and no one's gonna look at it? That's just lame. So yes, it is very easy to be influenced by the comments underneath videos, and maybe that would be fine if they were all well researched and well balanced and they were given a lot of time,
which is like never the case. That's never the case.
And thought, and they didn't sway to one side or the other side too much. But that's not what's happening at all, and because of that, they have their drawbacks. I'm going to be very careful with how I word the following proposition. Have you ever been watching a post of a person who is above average weight, enjoying their life, and you think to yourself just for a moment, How is the comment section going to react to this? I remember it was one time I was watching a slideshow of a dude. It was doing a trend that was like, oh, I don't need to win the lottery because I already hit the jackpot. Like something to celebrate their partner or whatever and be like, oh, look how great of a girlfriend I have, something like that. So,
Bro,
and the first thing I noticed
buddy got
about it
bars,
is
eh?
he had
He got
turned
bars,
the
huh?
comments off, even though it had 1 million likes, which was very confusing to me. So then I saw the second slide in the post. His girlfriend was overweight, and it was at that point.
Do y'all turn comments off in your photos or what? Do y'all turn comments off in your photos, or you keep the comments on? Or do you keep the comments on? Or like, yeah, because you can do that now. You can like turn the likes off and turn the comments off on your Instagram posts and stuff. And I've seen people do it on certain posts and things like that, which I think makes sense because sometimes it's not about getting the biggest post. But I don't know. I think it's a good thing to have. I think it's a good thing to have. Do y'all do it or not?
Point that I immediately hit the Frank Ocean pose. It was oh bad. It was bad. If you've been on TikTok for any amount of time, you know that fat people aren't allowed to be happy. And I can say that because I was obese at legally, like clinically.
Yo, where my fat niggas at, bro? Where my fat niggas at? Yo, pause. All my viewers living large. Let's see it. Let's see them.
I was obese.
Cause me personally, I'm skinny as shit. Yeah, y'all will snap me in half. I'm not even dissing.
I was considered obese. I don't think I was that bad, but the doctor disagreed. It's so interesting how you can be in one moment allowed to mercilessly make fun of a person because of one thing, but then you go 2 scrolls down and you're never allowed to make fun of a person for anything. My argument isn't that we should be allowed to make fun of people. My argument is that the whiplash of being constantly told not to do it and then immediately being shown someone doing it and doing it well is crazy, because it's bullying. Right? It's just bullying. It's openly bullying. But the
Yo, chat, y'all fuck with bullying or what?
thing is, yes, it's bullying, but also it is objectively funny. To me, bullying only works when it is funny. It has to be funny. That's why I don't consider Disney Channel or Darman like type bullies to be helpful to any degree. It's not realistic. Those guys aren't funny. They're lame. Somebody should be bullying them. With that being said, opinions from comments like,
oh man, those Darman. We watched one of those Darman clones, Tomorrow's Teaching videos. Oh my goodness, those are like those aren't even funny. Like I guess there's a, I feel like in a weird way, I think it's like the opposite, where it's like bullying is I don't know, is bullying whatchamacallit, is like, cause bullying it's like harmful. It's like harmful. Like I think if you're like, it only works it only works if the person being bullied is okay with it. Okay, I feel that. Like if then it's not really bullying, because it's like bullying is, I feel like those Darman bullies are like bullies because they're not funny. If it's actually has some merit and it's like funny and clever and you feel a type of way because it might have some fucking validity and that you might have just got flamed, then like that's more of like a comedian. You know what I mean?
this can be a subtle danger, because in my experience, when you're presented with ideas that you find offensive, you usually like reject them pretty quickly, because it's almost like your shields are up. You don't let anything unsavory enter your domain. But if somebody presents it as a joke, it's something that's making you laugh, your shields are down. Like, this is funny, we're all just joking. So we're allowing ourselves to take in ideas that we normally wouldn't take in because it's just funny, it's just jokes. Like, can you think of that one favorited TikTok that you have that you want to repost but you can't because you can't let everyone around you know that you're evil? Like, you know which one I'm talking about. You don't have to say it, but we both.
Do y'all repost TikToks like actually to be like people are gonna see this? I'm not on TikTok like that. I'm not on TikTok like that to where I'm like liking posts and reposting posts to, you know, for people to see. Like I get it, but I don't know. I'm not really that tapped into the TikTok culture. I just post on it.
Both know. I'm not saying this is gonna become your ideology tomorrow.
And shout out to the people that repost my TikToks.
I'm just saying, if you keep letting these jokes, you know, enter your domain, you keep letting these ideas enter your brain, eventually it's gonna feel normal, and then when it starts to feel normal, you'll start to be more willing to accept them, not as jokes, but just as facts of life. There's this concept I like to call be a human being, which is just something I want to say anytime somebody gets caught up in the semantics or the terminology of an argument that they forget to reason on it like a normal person. It's like when you read a Reddit story about a couple, and unless they are like perfect, there's always going to be somebody telling you to break up and that he's not worth it and that you could do so much better, queen. But I feel like if the same scenario happened to you or to me in real life, we could just get over it. It's not that serious. Does that make sense? And I'm not talking about obvious ones where the title is like, is it my fault that my boyfriend stabbed my mom? How do you write a title like that and still think to yourself, I'm not sure who's to blame here? I'm talking about stupid stuff. Like, for example, let's say
at that point, that's next level toxicity.
You have a job, but you don't have a car, so you rely on your man or whatever to pick you up every day, but he's always like 10 to 15 minutes late because he's playing video games or something else stupid like that, and it kind of bothers you a little bit. Like, why is he always late? I would really love if you just got here on time. Something like that. Like, if you put that on Reddit, you'd get a handful of people talking about he doesn't respect you, and I would never tolerate that. You deserve so much better. He's trash. Is that a fair argument? Sure. Counter argument. Does that make sense? I'm not gonna lie. I felt very dumb having to write this into words to explain it to you, but I'm sure you get where I'm going, right? Like,
yeah, like I think it's just more, it's like one of those, if you're posting something, like you get too much of one type of response, like especially from comment sections and stuff. It's a lot of this, it's a lot of like, you're either on this side or that side. Like it's just two extremes instead of like actually discussing it. Like, especially online, you get like a huge vocal like minority of people like almost just wanting you to like saying it for like a reaction's sake, you know, and for people to be like, yeah, instead of like what is more beneficial for like your situation, and do I know you? And that's the difference between us. Like, if you generally want feedback and things like that, hop off of like, don't get it from comment sections, get it from value people you value their input and stuff, and show them, and you know what, show them and get it from them from a one-to-one instead of, you know, letting 100 comments dictate how you feel and how you're going to feel about certain things.
Yes, talk about it and express how you feel and ask him to change. But if it still happens and he's overall a good guy, you know, look, I could be wrong, but when you're forced to look at a scenario from a human perspective and not just a digital and analog right or wrong perspective, it's not that cut and dry. And sometimes you just kind of deal with things. Like, if it's really bothering you and he just won't change, then fine, leave him. But I think if it was something that was just like mildly irritating you, and then you told the internet what happened, and then they all convinced you that this was a war crime against your humanity and womanhood, then now it's become like offensive to you. Do you see how like that's not this where we got wasn't helpful. Where you were was an okay place to be. We started with, oh yeah, this is a quirk I don't like. We ended up with, actually it was a sign that he never actually loved you in the first place.
That hole in the wall is fucking killing me. I can't stop looking at that hole in the wall. That's so funny. And I it's probably there for that exact reason. Like, he hasn't fixed it for that exact reason. I look like just the shots and the cinematography on this video, like, is it's got so much charm. It's got a lot of charm.
Sounds wrong, but I feel you understand the vibe of what I'm saying here. My point is that life, there's a lot of weird gray areas, and online discourse has space for black, dark gray, light gray, and then white. So there's a little bit more nuance than just black and white, but it's still not quite enough for daily life, I think, in a lot of cases. Much of internet discussion and opinion is, it changes too quickly. Like, people don't talk about things solely because it's such a burning issue in their heart they just had to share with the world. That can happen, but also a lot of the time it's just because it's, you know, it's the trending story, it's the opinion of the week, it's just what everybody else is talking about, so I have to pretend that I care about it as well. And this is more of a general.
Yeah, I feel like that's where that's how we get terms like this is like big news for the unemployed. Big news for the unemployed, or like You know, it's like if everything's a big deal, then nothing's a big deal, you know? So everybody like is so quick to like want to hop on the next, you know, the next trend, or like have the next opinion, or be the one to say this about that. And then now we're not saving that for times where we actually like we need to talk about things, or we should talk about things. We're just worried about fucking being my boyfriend picking me up 15 minutes late every day from work or whatever, you know what I mean? And then like people are caring about that so much more. They don't even know you, like, you know, they don't even know you.
Social media trend than just any particular comment section. And the media and content that people make, it's just, you know, go with the flow. What does the main population care about right now? Let me hop on that. For example, I found it so interesting when the war in Ukraine first broke out and you saw people with their profile pics and even companies changing their company logo colors to be the...
Yeah, no, did y'all see that? I remember seeing that. Everybody, like, as soon as it happened, as soon as it got posted about, and as soon as it became the thing to talk about, that was like, everybody started talking about it. I haven't seen a lot of those people that were like, I'm not gonna, like, I obviously feel for, like, the victims of the atrocities that are going on because of that war and stuff like that, but, like, I didn't, at the end of the day, I wasn't posting about, like, I know a lot of people that were just like posting it on their stories, like making that fucking same repost, or changing, like how they're saying all the companies doing that, like, good grace, like, pat on the back, so everybody's opinion about it, and it goes back to that whole like opinion thing, to like they do it so you get all those opinions feeling like you support something, or that's how you like it's just validation. It's like validation seeking, because it's so easy and so quick and so accessible to get on your phone. You don't actually have to have a discussion with somebody to get that. You can just get it from your phone.
The Ukrainian flag colors, because I saw them do that, and my first thought was just, when do you take that down? At what point?
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, when do we stop? And then you stop talking about it, and then it's like, what was it for? It's like, did you even really give a shit in the first place? Like,
wait, do you say to yourself, all right, we can wrap it up, Brad. Or when there's a joke on TikTok, and again, it's the joke of the week, and everybody references it for like the first day, and then the second day leading into the rest of the week, people keep adding to it and making more and more obscure references to it, and everybody enjoys it, and it's a good time. But then in week 2 of the joke, somebody makes one TikTok where they're like, it's not that funny, and then everybody in that comment section agrees that it wasn't that funny, and from that point on, that joke has like 2 days left in it max before it dies. And then a year later, somebody's gonna be like, hey, do you remember that one joke where we all said,
yeah, and it was like King Batch, and it was so funny, remember? Like, or it wasn't that unfunny, like, it was kind of funny, and then now we get the whole resurge of people fighting for that, looking for their brownie points. It's a whole mess. Like, get your opinions from real people, from the real world. There's a whole real world and people to talk to. You don't need to get it from randoms on the internet that are just kind of piggybacking on one, like, you know, they can't see both sides. They're just saying the one thing.
This, and then they're dying laughing, and then everybody in that comment section is like, yeah, I remember that was such a great time. What is wrong with you people? I feel stupid every time I let myself be influenced by this, because it reveals a serious lack of backbone on my part.
That's so funny. I just want to say the green screen getting whatever the hell's over here too. That's fucking awesome.
I gotta stop pretending to care about things I'm not well informed in and ultimately don't care about. Honestly, I don't care that the WNBA wants more money even though they seem to be bad at their sport. I'm not good at basketball either, but apparently, according to the people on TikTok, neither are they. Clips, yeah, they don't look great, but I don't really care about.
Do y'all watch the WNBA, chat? Are you guys watching the WNBA?
Backbone on my part. I gotta stop pretending to care about things I'm not well informed in and ultimately don't care about. Honestly, I don't care that the WNBA wants more money even though they seem to be bad at their sport. I'm not good at basketball either, but apparently, according to the people on TikTok,
respectfully, in those clips, okay, I don't want the comments or the one clip to sway my opinion. Or the whatever, like, it's like the whole 30-second, you see the 30-second clip of the podcast, but you don't watch the hour, so it makes somebody look bad. But it's like this, I'm not gonna lie, these clips are not.
Neither are they. Clips.
What was that? Come on, how are you in the professional league and smoking a layup? Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, they don't look great, but I don't really care about this. Why does every video I watch have a guy screaming at these women? I don't care. However, sometimes you can use this flip-flop behavior to your advantage. Case in point.
Some people need to relax though. Some people need to relax. Like if they feel they're getting underpaid for playing a professional sport, like that's on that. Like hey, that's on them. You don't need a weird ass nigga on TikTok to be all like, oh, you guys actually suck, bro. They could probably cook him in basketball.
Benson Boone. For a long time, people have been making fun of him for the way he looks and the way he acts, and of course, the lyrics to the only song I know by him make absolutely no sense, and people have been having a lot of fun with that. But the interesting thing about it is that he does something that a lot of celebrities and famous people can't do. He takes criticism and hate pretty well. So honestly, if he just sticks it out, he'll be fine. I truly, wholeheartely believe that if he...
I think that's the best way to go about, like, dealing with comments and stuff like that. Like, especially, like, hate comments and stuff like that. You just gotta fight, like, you just gotta just be like, alright, just take it like you don't give a fuck. Like, if you want to respond to it, like, respond to it funny, respond to it cheeky. If anything, I feel like that gives you a better shot of, like, the person being like, oh, like, they're not, alright, like, they're not even that fucking mad. That gives, maybe let me reconsider this, you know?
Just does this for long enough, they're gonna end up loving him, because this is exactly what's gonna happen. What they've done so far is, haha, you're weird and stupid and we hate you. And what he's done so far is, okay, and then he's continued to be what he is. And so yeah, they're gonna keep doing the haha, you're so stupid jokes, whatever, but jokes on TikTok die out within a month. So once that stops, he hasn't yielded, he hasn't changed because of them, and he's just gonna continue to be himself. And now, because the jokes have stopped, he's just being himself. One person is gonna be like, you know what? He's not that bad. And then everybody's gonna agree with that person. And then slowly all those quirks that they hated him for are gonna be things that they actually like about him now. He just needs to ride the train for a little bit longer, and they're all going to praise him for the very things they made fun of him for not 2 months earlier. That is, of course, unless he misses a backflip and lands straight on his face. If that happens, everything I just said is null and void.
It's like, imagine I Show Speed, like, he just fucks a backflip up. Like, he's doing one of these tours, like, he's on the USA tour right now, he just, like, fucks the backflip up. Just done right on live. Now I don't want that, but like that'd be insane. If anything, I feel like him fucking that, like if you failing a backflip, if you're known for doing backflips, would go more viral. The clip of you failing a backflip would go more viral than the clip of you doing a front flip. Because now it's like everybody's seen you do the front flip. Like the only way you're gonna top that is doing like a double front flip or a backflip, you know?
Void. They will never let him forget it. His career is basically over. In my experience in growing up in an immigrant house,
I think it's easy to have opinions, but it's hard to have opinions that aren't swayed by external forces, you know, or external, like anything else, or other people even, you know. And that's like a whole thing. Like that's why you got to stay out of the comment section, because it's like it's so easy to just change your whole opinion about something. That's why it's good to just like every now and then like get off social media and stuff like that. I just really just detach from it and reattach with like the world, because this shit'll have you in a whole next headspace. Like social media and comment sections specifically will have you in a whole next headspace.
Household, there is a strong implication that having a different opinion is inherently wrong, and that's the thinking that I have to kind of break myself out of. I'm not talking about big stuff, all right? I agree with big stuff, but that's not even really an opinion. You should like respect parents and all that. My thing is just, if you have a different idea of how to tackle a situation or how to handle a problem or how to greet or approach someone, that's not inherently a bad thing in and of itself. A lot of times there is more than one valid way to approach a situation, but that is not the opinion of the immigrant.
Yeah, and a lot of it's like cultural, like a lot of it's cultural too, where they're very big on you have to do this, like it's, whereas like Western civilization is a lot more like understanding and like you can do it this way, and you have everybody kind of has this. It's like there's something for everybody now. We're back in it, even in other cultures. There's sort of like the right way to do things.
I feel like that was bordering on ambiguously racist, but we didn't quite cross that yet. The environment is designed to tell you what to think instead of teaching you how to think, the art and skill of thinking on your own. It's like when a dog poops on the floor and then it hears its owners in a suddenly loud and angry voice. voice and on a frustrated cadence, and it knows that it did
What the fuck was that? My YouTube just like took a shit.
something wrong. But when they roll over on command, they get a happy face and a sing-song voice, and they also get a treat, and they start repeating things. The dog doesn't suddenly understand why what he did was right or wrong or any of the morals in the situation. All he now knows is that, hey, this action will equal this reaction. With being told how to think on a subject, you're not actually thinking about the validity or the merit of the opinion or the school of thought. You're just thinking of the proper combination of words to get the reaction that you want. So yes, you may have the group's approval, but your ability to reason and think critically on things will become dulled, and you'll just become a shell of your...
It's like the difference between having like the right opinion, like the quote unquote right opinion, versus having a strong opinion or a valid opinion, you know? Like having a well-informed opinion. And like with things like, I feel like with AI like taking over and stuff like that nowadays, and like just the way content is delivered and things like that, just the way the world's moving, I feel like certain like critical thinking skills and like reasoning, like a lot of people even now like kind of rely on that. They kind of need to be told what to do or how to do it, almost how to think. And I don't know what it's gonna take to break us out of that. What's gonna take us to break people out of that. I think just, I guess, if anything, like more awareness of the, you know, like how bad it could get, you know, and how the effects of it. I think this is a conversation like that needs to be had more when it comes in regards to like comment sections specifically, and like not. I feel like it's been talked about forever, like, but it's like, I love that, it reminds me of that Tyler, the Creator tweet where it's like, you know, how the hell is cyberbullying real? Just like turn the damn computer off. And it's like, I think that's kind of what it boils down to, where it's just like, you just need to make the disconnect of, if this is just like the opinions of these people have no effect on my day-to-day, like they don't, like, you know what I mean, like these people don't, like, there's people that care about like me, and you have people that care about you, and you have a purpose and things like that, so you don't need the validation from the comments. Although it's unfortunately though, it's like the way of the world. Like at the end of the day, something with more comments, you're gonna be more willing to check it out, or, you know, if you get more good comments, you want the good comments. But I guess just don't, like, if you're put less stake in the bad comments and put less stake in the good comments as well, because like they're just fucking comments at the end. Just do things and create things and just put out there what you're comfortable putting out there. And at the end of the day, like the opinions of others don't really matter, especially if it's just text on a screen. At the end of the day, turn the damn screen off, turn the comments off.
Former self. You're no longer a person who can think and feel on their own. They can only do so with the permission of other people. At that point, you're not a person, you're a puppet. You're a malleable piece of clay that sets to the preferences of the people around you. You can be stretched and reformed as they please. You're
Pause.
You're a dog who's afraid to dump out on the carpet. Bad boy! Roar! Roar, 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 roar.
Yo, who the fuck you barking? And I'm playing, bro.
Okay. Can you believe this is how I'm paying for my mechanical engineering degree?
I think that's a big reason why I couldn't make friends in my younger years. Not that I was socially awkward and I found people scary. That was true, but that wasn't the reason. But the reason is, even when I learned how to talk to people, I still found it kind of stressful, because what would happen is I would hang out with people for hours, but I wasn't being myself. I was being like a version of myself I thought people would like. So I would say things that would not cause conflict and would not share our personal views or opinions. It was just the most generic stuff that could get everyone to like me. Did it work? Not really. I don't think anybody really cared. So it wasn't benefiting our connection. In fact,
yeah, I think like that only works with certain that works, but it works to a certain extent. Like if you're looking for, like, you can do all that and it could work to get you through that day or that hangout, that sesh, or whatever, you know what I mean, that hangout, that, you know, that plan. But at the end of the day, like, that's not conducting to actual, like, real relationships and connections. And I feel like the more you get away from, like, trying to say what you think is the right thing and what you think that everybody's gonna want, and just saying how you feel. Sure, it's gonna suck. Like, you might push people. You're gonna push people away, But you being firm in that, you will bring the right people to you. Like, the right people will come to you, and like, you know what I mean? Like, as you open up and be real, they'll be open up and be real, and at least you guys can have a real fucking conversation or a real connection, rather than it just being the, hey, how am I gonna, what do I gotta say? Like, picking out of the dialogue options like a fucking video game.
In fact, it was making it a little worse because on my part, I didn't feel like they really knew me. To no fault of their own, I wasn't letting them know who I was. Like, I wasn't being myself. I was playing a character that wasn't even a fan favorite. My friends didn't like when I did that. They didn't fully realize that's what I was doing, but I don't think they really cared for it. It was exhausting for me. It was a little bit weird for them. No one benefited from this. I was doing this in an effort to try and make more friends, and it was doing the exact opposite. I just needed to have an opinion and genuinely just share it.
Have you ever met someone so confident and assured of them?
And like, when you're around the right people, like, you'll be comfortable doing that. Like, you'll get comfortable doing that, for sure. And that just comes with time and just being more firm in doing that, instead of everything being so performative. Just be genuine, and it'll attract the right people, the right things, you know, the right opportunities, everything.
Themselves and in their opinions and in their line of thinking, that it genuinely intimidates you. I found myself observing that in other people a lot more recently, and it's very upsetting to me because I have friends that are able to just do that. They say what they think and they do what they want within reason, and they're just fully themselves. And that is such an attractive quality to me. Like, they don't have to do that whole dance or that guessing game of trying to see, oh, do they like this thing? Do they feel that way? Should I say this? Should I do that? It's like they're playing a chameleon. They're trying to see what this person feels and thinks and try to match that as much as they possibly can. They don't do that. They just do and say and think what they do and say and think. Right. And the other
and I feel like, in a way, like, that's why people admire, like, it's gonna sound crazy, but like, stupid people. Like, you know, like, aren't dumb people like sometimes so fun to be around? Or like, you know, like, sometimes, like, and this is actually, I wanted to have a conversation like this, so I'm gonna probably, like, next stream I'll start it off and have like a little discussion like that about a cool question. It's like, sometimes being around like silly people, like maybe stupid people who might not know as much as you about certain topics, or even just about things in general, just might not be as educated just might be at a different point. Like, something so endearing about them is like, a lot of the time they just tell it how they think. They're just them. It's because they just tell it how it is, or how they think it is, you know? And it's even better when they're willing to learn and they're not like brick walls.
Likes it or they don't care. To be so chill and unconcerned and fine, that is my dream. What's something in your life that you're certain you could stand 10 toes down on, no matter what public opinion says? Because I find it almost scary how quickly public opinion...
I know what I can stand 10 toes down on. I know what I can. That level squad, we gonna take over. You already know. Look at me.
Can flip. So what's something that, if that were to happen, you're still confident you'd be able to stick with it? Because a lot of public opinion, again, it just seems vibes based. It's like, I don't fully understand this situation, but I understand that I'm supposed to be mad about it, or I'm supposed to be in support of it, or I'm supposed to insert third feeling. I'm supposed to do it because everyone says I'm supposed to do it, so I'm just going to do it and hope they accept me for it. But when you actually look into the matter, it's not quite as simple as this side or that side, because the issue has probably been boiled down a lot just so it could be widely broadcast to the general public. But if you look into it, it's a lot more complicated than that. I'm not saying you have to apply this to every single thing. TikTok drama is very stupid and does not deserve that type of time, frankly. But I think it would be good every now and then to consciously understand that that's what you're doing before you check a comment section. You're holding off on having an opinion to try and guess what the right opinion will be in the comment section below, and then you try and morph your thinking to match it. When you find yourself doing that, really think, do I care about this? You probably don't. You'll probably forget about it in 30 minutes. It doesn't matter. I couldn't write a better ending to this video. That's the last line of this video. I couldn't think of anything. I thought I'd think of something like last minute. The script is sitting right in front of me right here. I can't think of anything. The last line is because you probably don't. I
Oh
don't
shit,
even know
he's
what the
he's
context
folded.
of that
He's
is. I'm staring
crumbling.
at the
He's
script. I still don't
crumbling.
know
No,
what the
he's
context of that
he's
is.
crumbling. He's crumbling.
I have no way to end this.
Well, shit. That was a banger video as always from David Achu. This guy makes banger videos. I'm already subbed. You gotta like it. Oh snap! Oh snap! What was that? Yo, King Radio with the follow. What's going on? I appreciate you, homie.